Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, magnificent individual. Today, I would like to speak about silently, well, discipline requires discipline, of course, or strength of will to sit completely still, as much as possible, really. Not sit still as in lazy, not sit still as in not moving an inch or so on. But in any situation, in anywhere, shape, or form where you should, well, be in the moment. Breathing and being aware, silencing our inner being. When we silence our inner being instead of letting our own little chatterbox go, instead of letting our own mind affect our emotions and will on automatic constantly, you become silent like this. And from the silence, we can start to build a foundation where spiritual truths come out directly. This requires us to lift ourselves up so that the source of where our inspiration comes from is from higher realms. We can not drag down the higher realms anymore to lower existence because, well, we will not be able to speak the highest truth that we are supposed to speak about. The lower we go, the more materialistic and the more abstract the whole truth and the theories become. You see, as we say, we are not here to refute anything. We are not here to prove anything wrong. Seriously, we are here to show that through spiritual work, through dedication, through power of will and silence, and also, well, dedication. I don't know if I said it twice, but dedication and resolve is kind of a given. It has to be a part of us for us to be able to actively work, not becoming lethargic, not becoming scared away from doing the work. But from the silence, you strengthen your inner spiritual foundation. When you ennoble and purify from the silence, there comes wisdom, there comes insight and understanding that has to be, of course, built over time. Just like when you are, as I've said earlier, learning the alphabet, praying the Lord's Prayer, and you haven't learned it by heart yet, then you will have to read it and repeat it. But once you have done so and it becomes second nature, you can take it forth like it was part of you. So that is what happens when you sit silent within your own being, with your ego, and shining out that beautiful, beautiful sun. When you are behind your own eyes, when you are listening behind your own ears, when you think your thoughts, your I am, when you feel your being, when you can feel your heart pump, when you can sense your whole nervous system and the will impulses through your whole being, or maybe the impatience you have, maybe the voice that says this is boring, or maybe you actually have an enjoyable voice, maybe you have a grateful voice, a voice that says thank you for the life I have, thank you for the few things that allows me to truly enjoy life in general and all of its many, many beautiful, beautiful gifts that we can perceive, observe, and study. We have choices when it comes to grabbing a hold of life, grabbing a hold of your everyday conscious being. Or are you going on automatic and something is behind your eyes but not you? So when you are within your body, breathing, feeling, and when it comes an intense feeling or a thought that might frustrate you, or any like this, you don't run away from your being. You still are here. You feel it. You sit through it. We need to know it. If we don't know it, we won't understand it, and it will be able to affect us in the subconscious. Now go through and experience and feel, because it is your feelings, you know? You are the stage at which the feelings transpire. So maybe we should get to know them. You can get to slowly but surely ennoble and transform your inner being so that noble and purified and good warm emotions comes up from your body, from your being, from your etheric and astral. Your ego is the transformer of your physical, etheric, and astral. Without your ego, your I am, I observe, I am here working, here aware, here consciously. When you are within your physical body, sitting still, breathing, and not letting your body be your master, but letting you be part of, let your body be an extension of your ego, you see? You are starting to become more in control of your own being. And the more that becomes your second nature, the more you are, when you are distracted, you come snap back here. Oh, sorry, I forgot myself for a moment. How often does that happen to us, huh? With the phone, with the internet, or with anything that distracts us. And when you come back to yourself, what do you remember? What do you remember of what you just did? You see? That is the distraction we should stay away from. Because it deteriorates our being. It deteriorates our willpower to listen and to follow along. This is one of the most important faculties to cultivate today. We will become more and more isolated. More and more hostile towards each other, and less capable of listening and feeling and taking in. This is one of the most important abilities to learn for the future. To be able to sense another human being and their whole, you know what I mean? It's kind of connecting to that other being, merging with them. So you can feel them and see them and be them for a tiny moment to see where they are, where they come from, and so on. To feel compassion. Compassion and not pity. Pity is one of the worst. It is such a degrading feeling. Compassion is, I see you, my equal sibling, and I know your pain. I've gone through it myself. So I can sit here and comfort you if it is required and necessary. You see, these feelings are beautiful in themselves if we allow them to play within our being as if they are meant to be played. Not let it play in our being, become conscious of it and become super obsessed with it. And then we put all of our spiritual power into it so that it becomes worse and worse and worse. Yeah, that is how we become obsessed with feelings and thoughts and so on. We end up putting more awareness and more life force into it than we should have. There is a balance there, you see, not too overly obsessed and not too overly detached. Have an interest, but not be so interested that you strangle and suffocate the thing you are interested in. So there are so many different areas you can see that reflection of Lucifer and Ahriman. The dissolving and the hardening. Lucifer, the dissolving. Ahriman, the hardening, the drying up. And the human being in the middle, observing, listening, feeling, transforming. And in general, having an enthusiasm, initiative. Once you have initiative in your life, once you wake up in the morning and say, "Good morning," Today is a new day to grab a hold of what I am meant to cultivate. Dear higher beings, please help and guide me. Be here and show me and give me what is necessary for the future to set an intention, to set a certain stage for you to develop. And that you can do in silence, in breathing, because from the silence it is much easier to bring out inspiration from your inner being instead of letting it be a complaint or an abstract explanation, or it's just that, or it's just jaded, it is trivial, you know? You are actually, ooh, this is interesting, I want to find out what this is. You know? It is a feeling of initiative, enthusiasm, and an interest in life. In your life, in other people, in the world, what is happening in the world, the transformation and changes that is occurring, the big events, everything. We need to be aware of these things to see what are we meant to cultivate and put out to the world to help and to counteract without directly fighting these things, because I promise you, these beings, Ahriman, especially Ahriman, is immeasurably clever. He is immeasurably clever. So we should not pick a fight with him. No, we cultivate what naturally is healthy, uplifting, nurturing, beautiful, connecting, empathic, compassionate, warm, inclusive, which will naturally counteract his disdain, hatred, complaints, fears, power plays. You see? It is about finding that, because you know that when you cultivate these things, results will occur. Just as I said, repeat the Lord's Prayer long enough and it will be second nature. Become conscious in the moment within your own inner being enough, it will become second nature. Be conscious of your breathing long enough, it will be second nature. Grab a hold of your thought, consciously think with your own thoughts, will be better by training. Every single thing you put your conscious effort into, your I am, your ego, I work with my ego into this, is what you will bring true. It will become your being. It will become part of you. It will be an extract of the lessons that you will take further as a foundation and as a starting point for the next life. The further into the future we go, the less and less karma will come, and the more and more directly our soul will come forth. Right now, we can still be, well, clever and intelligent and have a certain feeling for these things and still be immoral and still be a rascal and still be, you know, in the future, that rascal nature we have hidden behind our being will come out as the being. We will never be able to hide again our inner being. So what we immersed ourselves in these lifetimes, in future lifetimes, will be reality. So if we haven't done diddly squat with ourselves, or even worse, immersed ourselves in highly degrading things for a human being to do, that will be physical appearance in the future. Our spirit soul being will be our physical body in the future. So the more we immerse ourselves in good, healthy, beautiful deeds and actions and practices, you are feeding your being with these light particles. Just to call it something, but it is truly nourishment, spiritual nourishment, the bread of life, super abundantly in all the changing conditions of our lives. So, inner quality comes from your ego building up your body is kind of a dwelling for the ego, and your body is an extension of your ego. It is to express your ego. Your ego, your I am, is the only thing that truly is eternal here. that will always go on. The consciousness, the I am, will always be here. Before Abraham was, I am. Remember this. It always was here. We human beings haven't always had it here, but we were bestowed when we were developed enough. So, well, I really liked that one. That was kind of amazing. But I will leave you with this. And remember, your ego, your I am, is your center. It is what have the Christ bestowed upon us, the macrocosmic ego. So the microcosmic ego we have is a tiny reflection of the grand, great ego that the Christ bestowed on us. And when he bestowed this on us through his physical death on the cross, when his blood fell to the ground, his whole cosmic ego merged with this earth, became the center of this earth. He switched from the sun sphere down to the earth sphere. In the future, the sun, moon and earth and the whole solar system will again unite into one mass. But we need to spiritualize enough to unite again to one mass. And what will not be able to be spiritualized, what has dried up, what has become old, what refuses to develop, move, change and form, will fall, will be shed. You see, there will be substance that cannot spiritualize and become etheric anymore. And it has to fall away. It is the dross, you know? It is like dandruff in a sense that collects into one sphere. This is it far after the apocalypse, you know, after the spiritualization of the earth. That is what the apocalypse is. It is the uniting of the sun, moon and earth again. You see, this whole solar system has been one mass, one sun mass in a sense. And we lived with higher beings. But for us to not become moral automatons and growing old immediately, the sun had to separate from the earth. Because the sun is so overwhelming in its force that we had no choice but to follow along on their moral and their guidance. So they had to separate from us. Then the moon is a little different. They were very detached, and if the moon had kept going with us, we would dry up, become mummies, and, well, the moon also had to in the end, separate away from the earth mass, and are outside now. But we will come to a point where we will unite again. You see, we are in a circle that goes upwards, downwards, and we are on our way upwards now. You see? We have been downwards, but here's the thing. This physicality, you know, this purely physicality, purely materialism, will in the end, this is what transforms. I lost my train of thought there for a moment. Anyway, oh yeah, sun, moon, earth united. But for us to be able to unite with it, we have to transform and spiritualize and lift up this earth substance. Yeah. And we will become star beings over time. And after that, we will become zodiac beings. So first we will become more gaseous. That will be our next type of form. But this gaseous state also will have to... We'll first become watery, then gaseous, and then warmth again. But it is much more intricate than that, because we always take something with us for every cycle. So that is the beautiful part. We don't quite know what we will take with us the next cycle. Sheesh, there are so many things to actually be interested in all of this. To actually hold your interest and hold your intention, and, well, yeah, it is worth doing. I will leave you with this. I I ended up on a little rant in the end there, but I don't mind really. To be conspicuous, to not be afraid of showing oneself. To not go, I hope no one sees me, I hope I'm not too visible, No, I am an individual, unique human being. I don't mind people seeing me, and I see you too, because you are a unique, beautiful human being. So we meet together as two unique human beings, trying to find a common ground or not. We can choose to overwhelm each other too. We can choose to fight each other. We can choose to, I am the boss here and only one ego is allowed, blah blah blah. No, rather have space for both egos and see what happens. There are many different things happening when such beautiful, beautiful experiences occurs. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, my God, higher hierarchy, angel masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, love you on your magnificent individual beautiful path, and may you strengthen and cultivate your inner being so that you can connect to the spiritual in your everyday, day-to-day life. You are amazing. You are needed. Love you. Goodbye.